Good evening. I'd like to call this regular meeting of Bolingbrook Village Board order. And I'd like to ask the gentleman from the American Legion and VFW to please come up and lead us in the pledge of the flag. I'll introduce them later in the agenda, but if you gentlemen do the honors, I'd appreciate it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Bring you back up in a few minutes. Roll call, please.
Mayor Claire.
Here.
Trustee Zarate.
Here.
Trustee Lawler.
Here.
Trustee Watts.
Here.
Trustee Hoagland.
Here.
Trustee Morellis.
Here.
Trustee Jesgood.
Here. Next, has approval of minutes, of the regular meeting of February 12th. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Watts, second to trustee Hoagland. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The agenda is approved, or the minutes are approved. Approve the agenda. Mr. Bowen.
There are no additions or corrections this evening.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Morales, second to trustee Lawler. Any other suggestions, changes? Hearing none, all in favor of approve the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The agenda is approved. We have one commission appointment this evening, Alon Shank to the Plan Commission. Is there a motion to approve that appointment?
So moved.
Motion trustee Lawler, second trustee Zarate. Comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. The appointment's approved. Reports of officers. We got a couple of things tonight, a couple of proclamations, but I wanted to mention one thing. You may have seen it, it was on Facebook, several postings, but it goes back to 2000, 2001. We had a car dealership in town, a Subaru dealership at one time, owned by a guy named Joe Levy, Joseph Levy. Joe at one time had 6 or 7 dealerships, very successful man. His flagship store was Evanston Toyota. And he would have brought a Toyota dealership here, but in car dealerships, there's a 7-mile rule. You can't be within 7 miles of another dealership of the same brand. And that caused Bolingbrook a lot of problems. Actually, it was a problem with the Holiday Inn for a while because it was a close Holiday Inn too close. But anyway, Joe brought Subaru, which was not in that 7-mile radius. And he ran it for several years. We also have big in Buicks, too. And one of the things he's done as a successful businessman is he started a senior citizen center in Evanston, and he named it to Joseph and Sarah Levy, his parents' senior center, and contributed a significant amount of money toward the one in Evanston. He did a second one somewhere else, but he came to me and said he'd like to do a senior center in Bolingbrook for the senior citizen group, and he'd like to donate $300,000 toward the cost. Well, basically our charge is police, fire, and public works. Certainly it was back in those days. So I suggested to him instead that he take it to the township, which does take care of senior citizens. They have several people that work with the senior community. And at the time, the supervisor was John Anarino, and John liked the idea, so I put Joe and John together, and of course the deal was done. And that the township built the senior center over, and that's why it's called the Levy Senior Center, after Joseph and Sarah Levy, who was Joe Levy, the car dealer's parents. So he passed away a couple weeks ago, 92 years old. And unfortunately, I have not seen Joe in a couple of years, but fabulous individual, very successful businessman, and it was quite a donation he made to the village. It's the largest donation Bolingbrook had ever had from I think from anybody at that time. And so that's the history of the Levy Senior Center. Some people call it Levy, it's Levy. Anyway, I thought something you all should know, and a great man, and sorry to see him pass. Proclamations. First proclamation is severe weather preparedness week proclamation. Accepting will be Troy Kirsch. Troy, would you come forward, please? Severe Weather Preparedness Week, Sunday, March 3rd through Saturday, March 9th. Whereas we all know how much destruction and devastation a tornado and other disasters can create and how many lives are lost each year, and whereas the governor of the state of Illinois has requested that all municipalities located in Illinois to declare the week of March 3rd through March 9th as Severe Weather Preparedness Week, and whereas it is advisable for the citizens of Bolingbrook to become familiar with the tornado disaster preparedness plans in order to promote and maintain community education and awareness. Now, therefore, I, Roger C. Clare, Mayor of the Board of Trustees of Village of Bolingbrook, Will, and DuPage County, Illinois, do hereby declare the week of March 3rd through March 9th as Severe Weather Preparedness Week in the village, and urge all of our residents to learn as much as they can about preparing for any disaster to prevent loss of life. And again, accepting Troy Kirsch, the fire department. Troy, would you like to say a few words? Sure.
Believe it or not, I'm going to talk about tornadoes. The season's coming. I know we got some cold weather still, but some things we need to know. Tornadoes vary greatly in their appearance and it can occur any time of the year with little or less warning. A tornado watch. This means conditions are possible for producing tornadoes. Stay alert for the latest weather information. Be prepared. Listen to the NOAA radio on your or your television stations or cell phones for updated information. Tornado warnings is what we're really concerned about. This means a tornado has been sighted by someone or indicated by weather radar. If you're at home, go to your pre-identified safe zone. Protect yourself from glass or flying objects. If possible, seek shelter under a piece of large, sturdy furniture, such as a large table or workbench. Protect yourself from falling debris. If you're not home, seek shelter in the basement or interior room or a nearby sturdy building. Do not outrun a tornado in your car. If no shelter is available, lie flat in a low spot in your arms or hands protecting your head. Do not seek shelter underneath a highway or railroad overpass. This does not provide any measurable safety. If we do have a tornado in town, continue listening to local radio television stations and your NOAA radio. Do not rely on phone apps or cell phones for information due to possible cell phone towers being damaged. Check for damage to your home. Be aware of any hazards such as ruptured gas lines, structural damage to your home, down electrical lines, localized flooding. That wasn't me. Advise your family and neighbors as well. Call 911 to report any injured or trapped persons. Give first aid where needed, but do not move serious injured persons unless they are in danger. Never enter a building that appears to have suffered structural damage or poses any other hazards. Use a telephone-only emergency calls. Once you have notified your emergency contact person, you are okay, to let them know you're okay. Let them or him or her inform other family loved ones. Telephones are frequently overwhelmed in disaster situations and need to be clear for emergency calls to get through. And finally, Bolingbrook has 15 outdoor warning sirens. These are outdoor warning sirens that are not intended to be heard within buildings. If you hear the warning siren, seek shelter and tune to the local radio or your favorite weather app. A single steady tone is used to alert you in case of a tornado. This alert is used for tornado warnings, not watches. Bolingbrook does not do an all-clear tone. Please tune into your local news agencies and listen for notifications from city officials regarding the emergency. And we do test our sirens every Tuesday of the month at 10 o'clock. Thank you. We'll be in the back selling these radios for $10.
Would you explain why we don't do an all clear?
The all clear, we used to do that a long time ago, and from FEMA, from the federal, and from state guidelines, they don't recommend doing that because other towns have done that, and guess what? There was other storms preceding the storm that just hit, and it was a false security. So the best thing to do is just listen to the radio or your phone, and you'll get updated information very quickly to know if it's all clear to come out. Our police and our firefighters and the EMA, we will come around the neighborhoods and we will let you guys know it's safe too.
Okay, thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Next, we have the St. Baldrick's Bolingbrook for Kids March 10th fundraiser with people involved with that. Please come forward. Rich Hilliard, Liz Byrne and Liz Giggler. Liz not here tonight?
Liz couldn't make it.
Okay. St. Baldrick's, Bolingbrook for Kids, March 10th, 2019. Whereas St. Baldrick's is the world's largest volunteer-driven fundraising nonprofit organization which coordinates worldwide head shaving events that raise money to support childhood cancer research. Whereas every 3 minutes another patient is told their child has cancer. And whereas thousands of brave volunteers shave their heads in solidarity for the children with cancer while requesting donations of support from family, friends, and local businesses. And whereas last year's Bolingbrook for Kids events, approximately 205 brave men and women and children had their heads shaved and raised over $120,000. And whereas a few of the St. Baldrick's group shavees are police officers, firefighters, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, and local school boards. Notice there was no mayor mentioned in there. I know it's not too late. This family-oriented event is supported by the Bolingbrook Golf Club, the Bolingbrook Police and Fire Departments, and the Promenade at Bolingbrook. The Bolingbrook for Kids fundraising event will be held at the Bolingbrook Golf Club on Sunday, March 10th, starting at noon. Now therefore, I, Roger Clare, Mayor of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Bolingbrook, William DuPage County, Illinois, hereby proclaim Sunday, March 10th as St. Baldrick's Bolingbrook for Kids Day, and urge all Bolingbrook residents to stop by the Bolingbrook Golf Club and enjoy a great day out and support this very important cause. And would both of you like to say something? Welcome. You are going to say something. You're just, I can't.
Yes, sir.
David, all yours.
Thank you, sir. In 1999, Tim Kenny issued a challenge to colleagues John Bender and Enda McDowell. How will you give back in return for your own good fortune in business? Enda's thick head of hair gives John the big idea: shave their head for donations and fund childhood cancer research. The annual reinsurance industry St. Patrick's Day party held in Jim Brady's pub in Manhattan became the first St. Baldrick's event ever. The goal of shaving 17 heads and raising $17,000 turns into 19 bald heads and $104,000 to fund research for the Children's Oncology Group. And that's where it all began. Today, St. Baldrick's is the largest private volunteer-driven childhood cancer research funder of grants, second only to the U.S. government. The St. Baldrick's volunteers make a powerful impact in their fight against childhood cancer. St. Baldrick's has granted over $253 million in research since 2005. They've contributed to hundreds of childhood cancer research projects, training the next generation of researchers and helping institutions treat more children on clinical trials. Did you know that every 2 minutes worldwide a child is diagnosed with cancer? In the United States, 1 in 5 children diagnosed with cancer will not survive. Of those who survive, 2 out of 3 will suffer long-term effects that are an outcome of the treatments that they received. Research is a child's best hope for cure. Before they turn 20, 1 in 285 children in the U.S. will have cancer. While 90% of children now survive one type of cancer, the outlook is far worse for those fighting most other types. And for some childhood cancers, there's no cure at all. More research is needed to give every child a cure and a healthy future, and that's where you all can help. Bolingbrook for Kids Volunteer Committee, along and partnering with the Bolingbrook Golf Club, will host our annual head shaving event on Sunday, March 10th. The doors open at noon and we'll begin shaving heads around 1:45. We will have food available for purchase from local restaurants like Rock Bottom Brewery, Bar Louie, BD's Mongolian Grill, Nancy's Pizza, and New Vibe. Our event in Bolingbrook continues to rank in the top 50 in the world, and that's thanks to this wonderful community. Over the past 10 years, we have raised $1.3 million for childhood cancer research. So thank you, Mayor Clare, the Village of Trustees, the Bolingbrook Golf Club, the Promenade, Bolingbrook Police and Fire, as well as all the businesses in this community for your continued support.
Rich, how long, I'm going to make it more force you to, how long have you been involved with this? From the beginning, right?
11 years from the beginning.
$1,300,000. That's a lot of money. And I tell you, if you really are available that day, you don't have to, it's not like you get sessions or you're there for 2 hours, 3 hours. Just come in and walk through the place and just observe, and maybe buy something. There's raffle tickets, there's food to buy, there's all kinds of things to do. The kids will like it, watching young children, older children, adults, get their head shaved.
Families, wives, children, husband, the entire families. It's really something to see.
How many people have signed up to do the shaving?
We have, talk about the barbers?
Barbers, yeah.
Usually about 9 to 12.
And how many people are signed up to shave?
I don't know the exact numbers.
We're somewhere around 150 now.
Nice.
It's about usual, and then we have about 50 to 75 walk in on the day that come that day.
It's a fun event, really. I think you'd enjoy it. Take the kids. It's a great way to spend some time, and you can't find a better cause.
Agreed.
So thanks for what you do.
Thank you, Mayor.
Next, Lon Shank, would you please join me? Lon is Lon's been around a long time. Moved into Bolingbrook in 1973. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. In 2000, he was appointed as, oh yes. In 2000, he was appointed to the Zoning Board of Appeals and served there for 10 years, did an outstanding job. And a lot of people don't really know what the Zoning Board of Appeals is, but if you have a project and there's something about your project that doesn't meet our code, you can appeal to the Zoning Board of Appeals. And they can rule over and above and allow that code to be modified for that particular project. And it's like the Supreme Court, because once they approve it, it stands for that particular project, not community-wide. So it can get a little tricky. Somebody puts in a deck that's too big without getting a permit, and they ask for, they appeal it, and that's what he used to deal with that. Did a great job for 10 years. And we had an opening come up in the Plan Commission, so we moved to the Plan Commission because of his expertise as chair of the ZBA. But he had some health issues come up, and because of that, he had to step down from the Plan Commission, but as you can see, he's healthy again. And said he'd be interested in returning, and I welcome his reappointment to the Plan Commission because of, again, the outstanding job. He does his homework, he knows what he's talking about, and is a great asset to the village as a member of the Planning Commission. So if you would, at this time, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Lon Shank,
You solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will uphold the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the municipal code of the village of Bolingbrook,
and the civil code of the village of Bolingbrook,
and I will faithfully discharge my duties
and I will faithfully discharge my duties
as a member of the Planning Commission
as a member of the Planning Commission
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability,
in the manner prescribed by law.
in the manner prescribed by law.
Welcome back. And that code needs a Bolingbrook pin. There you go. And here's your official commission.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Appreciate
right
it.
on. Thank you. Next, we have the annual presentation, the VFW and American Legion Public Service Awards. I'd like to ask the gentleman from the American Legion and VFW to join me, and I'd like to ask Director of Public Safety, Ken Temple, to join me for this first two presentations. John, are you in charge tonight?
Well, Ken,
Well, no, from your group.
I'm doing the VFW, he's doing
Who wants to start? We'll do both. All right, well, first of all, let me get the whole group introduced here, so they know what we're talking about. Name and branch of service.
John David, United States Army, retired.
Larry? We know that.
Larry Shaver, United States Marine Corps.
Herschel Nelson, United States Army.
Greg Palmer, United States Navy.
Bobby Diamond, U.S. Army.
Angelo Rosario, United States Army.
Bill Marslick, United States Army.
Robin Sutton, United States Army.
William Minister, United States Navy.
Well, first of all, thank you for what you did and still do for us. And now I'll turn it over to John Davin, who will start. John, would you like to start? Please, first.
All right.
Okay, I thought you described the program. Oh.
Each year, the American Legion and the Veterans of Foreign Wars present an award to an outstanding citizen in the police department, the fire department, and public works. Myself and everybody back here understands the danger that's involved, especially with the jobs that they do. It's not a very easy task to go out there and face some of the things that you face every day that normal citizens would never ever see. And we deeply appreciate what they do as long as we're safe in this village.
Good evening. I'll be introducing tonight's recipients for the police officer and the fighter paramedic. So for tonight's police officer recipient will be Police Officer Anthony Gomez de la Casa, Jr. Anthony, you want to come on up? Officer Anthony Gomez de la Casa, Jr. is 34 years old. He graduated from Romeoville High School in 2003 and from Northern Illinois University in 2011 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in criminology. Anthony was a certified police officer with the Northern Illinois University Police Department for 5 years before he was hired by Bolingbrook in September of 2016. Since that date, he has received several written recognitions, commendations, numerous letters of thanks from local citizens, and 4 life-saving awards. 2 in 2017, 1 in 2018, and 1 in 2019 that I'll give you just a quick thumbnail here in a second. In his spare time, he enjoys weightlifting, playing sports, and spending time with his family. When we sat down with Mr. Davenant, we tried to consider a recipient for this award. Officer Gomez de la Casa kind of rose to the top, and in 2017, he received a life-saving medal for a fire while he was driving in a neighborhood, smoke's coming from a home, and he safely evacuated 10 people, including 3 children under the age of 15. In 2017, he also received a life-saving medal for a subject who was stung by a bee in town. He arrived, found the subject unconscious, not breathing, wedged between a bathtub. He was able to move the victim, begin CPR, and direct other family members to prep the AED. He performed CPR for several minutes before the fire department arrived and transported the person to the hospital where he was saved. In June of 2018, he received a recognition letter for successfully assisting with a suicidal domestic battery subject. In June of 2018, he received a commendation for responding to a domestic battery where the offender threatened to turn dogs loose on officers, and he was able to de-escalate that situation and resolve it without any force. In December of 2018, another life-saving medal for a house fire in town where he was the first on scene and evacuated residents only to find a small child was still inside. He entered the house again amidst heavy smoke, located the child on the second floor, and carried him to safety. And in January 2019, another life-saving medal. This one, you probably saw it was on the news. It was for a drowning victim at the Holiday Inn where Officer Gomez began CPR on a 5-year-old child that had been underwater for around 90 seconds. He was not breathing and had no pulse. The child was ultimately resuscitated and taken to the hospital where he recovered. Considering all of this, Officer Anthony Gomez de la Casa is the recipient for this year's VFW and award. John?
Veterans of Foreign Wars Certificate of Appreciation is awarded to Anthony Gomez de la Clase in grateful recognition for unyielding adherence to the highest ideas of law enforcement and maintaining, preserving, and protecting the law rights of all citizens. In witness thereof, we have hereunto set our hands and the official seal of Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States, this 22nd day of February 2019, signed John David, Commander, Greg Palmer, Adjutant.
Good evening. Who's down? I'm a little short. It's okay, we're short, but we're mighty.
I just haven't hit my throat.
Yeah, that's it. We'll get it when it goes, won't we? The American Legion is proud to give this award. These men and women that belong to our fire department and our police department in this community, remember, they're the ones that run into fires, run into crime, not away from it, to make sure that we remain safe in this community during the day and during the night. Keep them in your prayers all the time. The American Legion Law Enforcement Certificate of Commendation presented to Anthony Gomez de la Casa of the Bolingbrook Police Department. This commendation is awarded for outstanding public service, benefiting our community, state, and nation. Presented by the American Legion Post Number 1288 of Bolingbrook, Department of Illinois, this 26th day of February 2019, signed by Commander Larry A. Shaver and Adjutant Gregory Palmer.
Sorry. Can you guys see me? When I was first told that I was going to be receiving this award, I actually thought that I was being teased. I thought it was a prank, you know. Then they showed me the confirmation email, and I was speechless. I was super excited. I composed myself though, and I felt honored. I really did. Of course, I had to ask why. They explained to me why. I just think I've been fortunate. I found myself in the right place at the right time when these calls come out. First on scene. I don't doubt that any officer, if they were in my position, would have accomplished the same outcome. Especially the officers on my shift. I work with some extraordinary officers. I have an amazing supervisor. But yeah, I'd like to say thank you to the VFW, not only for your service, but for presenting me with the award. And American Legions. To my family and for those that came out to show their support. Thank you. I appreciate it.
In the middle.
There you go. Outstanding officer.
And tonight's 2019 recipient for the Bolingbrook Fire Department is firefighter paramedic Ryan Clavon. Ryan? Ryan started his career as a firefighter paramedic for the Romeoville Fire Department, Plainfield Fire Protection District, and the Warrenville Fire Protection District. He became a member of the Bolingbrook Fire Department in 2007. Ryan holds the position of firefighter paramedic. Firefighter paramedic Clavon was nominated for Firefighter of the Year by his peers for the ongoing vital role in the EMS department and helping implement the Home Safety Survey program for residents. He's got a passion for EMS. He has helped bring innovative equipment to the department for the paramedics to train on and use on a daily basis. He spends countless hours preparing new hires to pass their entrance exam into the Edward paramedic system. He also was involved in the implementation of the Home Safety Survey program for the residents of Bolingbrook, which includes checking smoke detectors and general safety inspections of homes. He's trained members of the department to uniformly prepare them on completing these home surveys. And his leadership and commitment to our organization are great examples of making the Bolingbrook Fire Department better each and every day, and therefore our 2019 recipient.
Veterans in foreign wars of the United States. Certificate of Appreciation is awarded to Ryan Cullivan? Cullivan. And special recognition and the highest praise for alertness, personal courage, and ever-efficient guardianship of life and property. In witness thereof, we have hereunto set our hands and the official seal of the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States. This 26th day of February 2019, signed John David Commander, Greg Palmer, Adjutant.
The American, go down here again from John. There we go. The American Legion Firefighter Certificate of Commendation presented to Ryan Calvan of the Bolingbrook Fire Department. This commendation is awarded for outstanding public service benefiting our community, state, and nation. Presented by Bolingbrook, the American Legion Post 1288 of Bolingbrook, Department of Illinois, this 26th day of February 2019. Hereunto signed by Commander Larry Shaver, Adjutant Gregory Palmer. These guys are great in my book.
Thank you very much. I just want to say a quick thanks to all of my peers who nominated me for this award. As you can hear from the script that Director Temple had read, we've been involved in a lot of changes here in the fire department, which have all been warranted, just in the day and age that we live in. It's a changing time. The threats are ever changing, and the dangers are ever changing, not only for us, but for the citizens out there that we have sworn to protect. So I've been fortunate enough and been backed by a lot of command staff and a lot of the projects that we've done to be involved and to be able to help participate collaboratively with a lot of my peers. And I think I'm accepting this award not just for myself, but as an example of how proactive all of my peers are and the ones that I'm able to work with. Thank you, command staff, for always being willing to at least look at a change. And thank all of you for your service and for the award. Thank you.
One more.
I know.
Lucas is going to come over.
Next, Lucas Rickelman, Director of Public Services.
Hi, I'd like to introduce our Public Service Employee of the Year, Anthony Luna. Please come up. Tony grew up in Bolingbrook, graduating from Bolingbrook High School in 1996. From there, he attended North Park College in Chicago, where he studied business administration. Today, in addition to being the wastewater reclamation foreman, he's raising two children, Angeline and Anthony, with his wife Amber. While not at work, Tony spends time involved in his kids' sports activities. Tony began as a part-time worker here at the village in 2001 and quickly began to work his way up through the ranks. Through his hard work and dedication, he obtained his Class 1 wastewater operator license from the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency. That is the highest class license you can get. In March of 2018, Tony took over as foreman and is the frontline supervisor of 3 treatment plants, which can treat nearly 10 million gallons of wastewater every single day. But his job doesn't end there. He, in addition to long nights, not only responding to wastewater emergencies, he spends time plowing and other emergencies as well. Matter of fact, as we were all sleeping last night, he was at a lift station making sure we got a bad pump running so everybody could take a shower and get ready for work this morning. The pride that Tony takes in his work, his attention to detail, and his willingness to find a better way are only topped by his dedication to the residents of the Village Bolingbrook and his fellow employees. For these reasons, it's truly an honor to work with you. I'm proud to say congratulations.
Veterans of Foreign Wars awards this citation to Anthony Luna as an expression of sincere appreciation and full praise for patriotic service rendered to the community. In witness thereof, we have hereunto set our hands and the official seal of the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States of America, this 26th day of February 2019, signed Commander John David, Adjutant Greg Palmer.
The American Legion Certificate of Appreciation. This Certificate of Appreciation is gratefully presented to Anthony Luna in recognition and sincere appreciation of outstanding service and assistance which contributed to the advancement of the American Legion programs and activities dedicated to God and country. Presented by the American Legion Post 1288 of Bolingbrook, Department of Illinois, this 26th day of February 2019. Signed, Larry Shaver, Commander, Gregory Palmer, Adjutant.
I'd first like to thank the VFW and the American Legion for this award. Very honored to have it. Also to Mayor Claire, the Board of Trustees, Lucas, my boss, Wade Jacoby, he's not here, but he's having a procedure done, so he's excused. And Ken and all my fellow employees, and also to my family, my wife Amber, kids Angeline and Anthony. As Lucas said, there's a lot of long hours that are involved, and last night was one of them, but it's well worth it, and I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
I want to thank the American Legion VFW for this presentation, these programs, honoring our employees. Great credentials, as you heard. And, again, thank you for your service. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Where is it? Next, you have bill approval. Bill listing A, $1,112,858. Bill listing B, $299,894.69. A total of $1,412,753.67. Is there a motion?
So move.
Motion of trustee Watts, second of trustee Zarate. Questions or comments? Being none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes. First resolution this evening is a resolution approving a purchase of one 2019 Vector Model 2100i single-engine tandem axle combination sewer cleaner through the Suburban Purchasing Cooperative. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion trustee Lawler, second trustee Morales. This resolution approves the purchase of a replacement vehicle through the Suburban Purchasing Cooperative, a joint purchase program of DePage and Will County municipalities. The purchase for 2019, well, I described it once, Peterbilt 348 tandem axle sewer vacuum. It would replace the 2006 model, which is at the end of its useful life. The Vector is a piece of equipment used primarily in cleaning storm and sanitary sewers. Some years ago, we used to have a leaf program where people would put their leaves on the curb and we'd have a machine come by and vacuum up those leaves. The downside in that program, and the reason we eliminated that program, is because those leaves, when it rains, wash into the sewer system. So we end up, another problem, we had to vacuum out the sewer system of those leaves that wash in there during storms. Anyway, the cost is $418,920, which is $11,080 under the budget amount of $430,000. This was reviewed by the Public Service Committee and recommends their approval. Questions? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes.
Our next resolution is approving a maintenance of streets and highways by the Village of Bolingbrook under the Illinois Highway Code with the Illinois Department of Transportation, commonly referred to as IDOT. Is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion trustee Jaskowitz, second trustee Morales. Under the Illinois Department of Transportation IDOT requirements, the village must submit its fiscal 2019-2020 MFT budget before the village budget is adopted. This resolution approves $2,649,362 for the next fiscal year. This is an 8.4% increase over this year's budget. The increases are based on material increases, salt, traffic signs, and labor. The breakdown is as follows: snow and ice, $874,438. Drainage and maintenance, $134,536. Pavement maintenance, $372,958. Sign maintenance, $153,000. Electric maintenance, $481,830. Tree maintenance, $157,600. Sidewalk replacement program, $300,000, and pavement markings, $175,000. Again, for a total of $2,649,362. Speaking of pavement maintenance, Lucas, do you get any comments on potholes? It is that season, and we had a very cold spell with some sub-zero weather, which creates potholes. What are we doing?
We're out there every day. If you do have a pothole that you see and you want us to address, please call Public Services at 630-226-8800. We will be more happy to attend to that. The hardest part isn't just necessarily the deep cold, but it's the cycling from a warmer weather to a colder weather. So, these times when it's freezing during the night and then warm during the day, that's when what you put in there pops out. So, we do try to tend to it, and we also do create a list that we will do more permanent patching over the summer.
But we don't do private property such as the malls or where the stores are at?
No, we don't do the malls or private property like that. The biggest one is behind the bank there and Luminati's. I know there's a little access road. Unfortunately, that is a private road, but we do work with code enforcement, and they will get on property owners to maintain their property.
Yes, he asked if you see a pothole. Obviously, they're called in by police. They're called, I assume fire department reports them, citizens report them. If you see one, let us know. They can occur literally a very brief period of time. It's not like it takes us a month to create, but we do get to them as we can. And of course, the system is tough to fill at this time of year because you use, what do you put in these potholes?
We refer to it as cold mix. It's basically just an asphalt with a very soupy, if you will, binder, so that way it is more pliable as opposed to a hot mix asphalt, which won't move as much.
And of course, that is not a permanent fix, so that in fact itself will also come out, which means we may have to attend to it again, but we will give it a permanent fix this summer when the weather is more appropriate to repair potholes. Any questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes. Next resolution is a resolution of operation and maintenance of property within the Village of Bolingbrook, which is under IDOT jurisdiction. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Motion of trustee Hoagland, second of trustee Lawler. IDOT requires a surety bond from anybody that does work within their right-of-way. For municipalities, they will waive that bond requirement and cost if the municipality passes a resolution stating that all work done in the state right-of-way will be performed in accordance with the condition of the IDOT issued permit and holds the state harmless for any event or injury occurring during the work. This resolution is effective for 2 years. Why would we do work on IDOT right-of-ways, Lucas?
There are things that we do maintain. We have some storm sewer in there and street lighting and traffic signals as well. We have an agreement with them on maintaining traffic signals.
Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Morales. Trustee Jesquith.
Yes.
Our next resolution is a resolution regarding the operation and maintenance of property. Oh, no, sorry. Its first ordinance has a company plan commission report, approval of special use permit for plan development with variances and final development plan, Jet Bright Car Wash, 248 South Weber Road, Dave D'Alessandro, JB Development applicant. Is there a motion to accept the plan commission report?
So move.
Motion trustee Watts, second trustee Lawler. The Plan Commission has reviewed this development plan and has filed a report recommending it with whatever conditions you found in the Plan Commission report. The motion this evening is to accept that report and place it on file. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Plan Commission report is accepted. Now we have the accompanying ordinance, which approves a special use permit for plan development with variances and final development plan, Jet Bright Services, 248 South Weber Road. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion trustee Morales.
Second.
Second trustee Zarate. Dave D'Alessandro, who is a resident doing business as Jet Bright Car Services, owns 2.06 acres at the southeast corner of Veterans Parkway on Weber Road. Formerly, it was Joe's Crab Shack, then it was La Hacienda, and then a restaurant that was going to, his main entree was chicken, bought it, and they decided not to build. The building was demolished, and the applicant would like to construct, the applicant, Dave D'Alessandro, would like to construct a drive-through car wash on the property, very similar to the one on East Mountain Road. They currently have one at 600 East Mountain Road. This project would consist of a 6,358 square foot building with stacking lanes and 181 long wash tunnel. There would also be 31 vacuum spaces. Automotive uses require special use. This ordinance approves that special use for a plan development, along with 7 variances in the final development plan. The Planning Commission has reviewed and unanimously recommends approval. I would love to have seen a Capitol Grill, a Rosebud, a Gibson's build a restaurant there. But 3 restaurants two of them looked at it or were there and failed. A third one decided not to build for a variety of reasons. It's kind of like Applebee's. Applebee's in front of about Best Buy. One time, I believe there were like 4, maybe 5 restaurants went through there. Yeah. And I've watched this throughout Chicagoland. Some sites just get tagged. It's just, that there's a feeling it's just not a good place for a restaurant. That site was put together by a guy named Bruce White, who owned all that assembly of property, that and across the street, Lowe's, and he laid it all out. We called it Restaurant Row. It still is Restaurant Row. A lot of restaurants there. But that location just a little bit below Weber. And I think there's a feeling that it just doesn't have the line of sight to attract that driver going by saying, hey, let's stop in there and have dinner. Regardless, it's been sitting empty now for quite a while. Mr. D'Alessandro, who has a very, very successful operation in East Mountain, wanted to build there, and it's Weber Road. I don't know, what's the traffic count on Weber Road, Lucas? You know, approximately?
A little over 30,000 cars a day.
30,000 cars a day go by there. There's estimated to be 60,000 cars in Bolingbrook. So there's plenty of car wash business for everybody. There's a full-service wash. Great job, Vic Jakowitz at Vic's Car Wash at 53 Mountain. Dave on East Mountain. This one's on Weber. There's another one further south on Weber Domarks, but they do a lot of oil changes and other services. So it's a nice fit. I'm sure it'll be successful. And any questions?
One thing I've been questioned is the traffic pattern. How will that impact Weber Road? Are they going to have exits and entrances off of Weber Road, or will they have to circle around and go through the back way?
Well, it shows in the Plan Commission that there's access off Veterans Parkway. Lucas, would you or Jim?
This is for the people in the audience and the residents who are asking the question.
Well,
The existing entrances and exits in the shopping center are the exits that will remain. There will be no additional.
There's a drawing in the
Sir,
packet.
Weber Road, traffic being impacted by this.
Yeah, there's a drawing in the packet showing where the curb cuts are. They're off the interior roads. There's no direct access off of Weber.
Okay.
Other comments, questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Yes. Next, Planning Commission report approval of special use permit, plan development with variances and final development plan, Jet Bright Services, 590 Kildare Drive. Again, Dave D'Alessandro, JB Development, the applicant. Is there a motion to accept the Planning Commission report?
So moved.
Motion of trustee Hoagland.
Second.
Second of trustee Watts. Questions on the Planning Commission report? Again, it's reviewed by the Planning Commission. They recommend approval of this accompanying report. Hearing no questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It's accepted. Now we have the accompanying ordinance approving special use permit for a plan development with variances and final development plan, Jet Bright Services, 590 Kildare Drive. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion of trustee Lawler, second of trustee Morales. Dave D'Alessandro, doing business as Jet Bright Carb Service, has his corporate headquarters here in Bolingbrook at 590 Kildare. It's a building facing facing Boughton Road, next to the apartment complex. This current building consists of a 1,090 square foot showroom, 2,445 foot office space, and 11,345 square feet of distribution and manufacturing space. He would like to build an accompanying building connected to the 16,185 square foot addition. In order to do so, you need to apply for a development code variance. This ordinance approves a special use permit with variances and final development plan. Planning Commission again has reviewed and recommends approval. He's a very successful businessman. He's basically doubling the size of his showroom and distribution facility. I've had the opportunity to tour the facility, and that's where all his parts and so forth are put together and shipped throughout the country. And he's really a very, very shrewd individual, and he's a great resident. Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Jaskowitz.
Here. Yes.
Next, we have Planning Commission report approval of special use permit for extended hours of operation, Perla Negra Mariocos. Rick?
Perla Negra.
Okay.
Jalisco's.
245 South Bolingbrook Drive, Adam Barrios, applicant. Is there a motion to accept the Planning Commission report?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Lawler, second trustee Morales. Questions on the Planning Commission report? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Now we have the company ordinance approving a special use permit for a planned development for a restaurant with extended hours of operation, 235 South Bolingbrook Drive. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion trustee Hoagland.
Second.
Second of trustee Watts. The applicant, Adam Barrios, has purchased the restaurant building at 235 South Bolingbrook Drive, formerly Buco's. Is Adam here? Don't see him. He's Bart's son.
Oh, that answers it.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that makes
A little enlightenment. Bart Barrios has owned
El Burrito Loco.
El Burrito Loco forever, behind McDonald's in that shopping area on 53 and Briarcliff. His son, who I know when I met Bart was probably 2 years old, is now a budding businessman himself and has purchased the old Buco's restaurant, which is on 53, just north of Tony's.
And Dunkin' Donuts.
And right across from Dunkin' Donuts. Funny you use that as a, yeah, anyway.
Landmark. It's a good landmark.
The building, the restaurant Buco was closed a few months ago, and a lot of people were very upset and disappointed about that because it was a popular place. Well, Bart had bought the building, and Bart had an idea for another restaurant, and so Buco's had to go. And it's unfortunate, but that's the business world. So Adam now is going to be opening his restaurant. He's putting an addition on. I think he's pretty much gutting the place. And it's going to be really a very nice restaurant. And I think he's, I don't know, what did he say his target date opening was? You know, anybody else?
They have a website up already, I looked it up, and they're saying March, or no, summer of.
Yeah, summer. A lot of work to do. A lot of landscaping, exterior changes, additional lighting, which it desperately needs, because you drive by there, it was always a very dark corner, because those lighting standards were put in 40 years ago when that restaurant building was originally built. So it should be a very nice addition. And the applicant is, again, person, he wants a Mexican seafood restaurant. The applicant would like to add 954 square foot addition. He would like to be open daily from 10 to 11. Code allows till 10, so this variance is for 1 hour from 10 to 11. The ordinance approves the building addition as special use for the extended hours of operation. Planning Commission reviewed it and recommends approval. Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Oh, I skipped one.
Yes. Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Jesko.
Yes. I inadvertently skipped ordinance 3, as Company Plan Commission report, approval of special use permit for eating and drinking establishment with live entertainment and extended hours of operation. CJ's Comedy Club, 619 East Mountain Road, Suite 125, Glen Martino, applicant. Is there a motion to accept the Plan Commission report?
So moved.
Motion Trustee Morales, second Trustee Lawler. Questions on the Plan Commission report? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It's approved. This ordinance approves the ordinance approves a special use permit for a planned development for an eating, drinking establishment with live entertainment, extended hour operation. CJ's Comedy Club, 619 East Mountain Road, Suite 125. It's along the same row as Bar Louie, I Pick, that end of the mall. 125. Is there a motion on the ordinance?
So moved.
Motion Trustee Morales, second Trustee Watts. It's our first comedy club, and it should be a nice addition to Bolingbrook, especially at the mall. We had a fun meeting.
Was it funny?
Get it? It's interesting to hear the whole psychology behind comedy clubs, where they get the people that do the comedy. It's just a great meeting. And then we'll have a bar, and that was a lengthy discussion because our liquor licenses typically require the serving of food. But to go into a comedy club for an hour and a half of performance, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to put in a full-blown restaurant. And of course, how can you really make an order for food, have it served? Now, iPick does that, an hour and a half, 2-hour movie, but in that circumstance, I think people go a little early, and their food is kind of designed for that purpose. But in a comedy club, you're sitting there in a chair, you're laughing, carrying on, you don't have the place to put the food. So it's going to be, we're going to have a liquor license come to us once this gets to that process that will allow the service of alcohol in that circumstance. Did I read the ordinance?
No.
Did we accept the planning commission report?
Yes.
The ordinance, wait, did we vote on it?
We had a motion where we didn't have,
Motion on the ordinance?
Yes.
Is there a motion? We had the motion?
Yeah. We
All
had
right.
it already.
The applicant, Glenn Martino, is Glenn here? Oh, Glenn, come on up here. Yeah, we gotta have a few stand-up jokes here, you know. Folks, don't get a cold. Ooh. The applicant, Glenn Martino, CJ's Comedy Club, would like to lease 2,381 square feet of tenant space at the Promenade. Seat 125 is south of H&M. How could it be south of H&M? H&M's east-west.
yeah.
Anyway, is it east or west of H&M? It's east or west? East.
Yeah.
You live in town, correct, too?
Might be moving into town as of now. I live in Naperville.
You are moving into town?
I have anything left over after the build.
Yeah, we'll make sure you're talking to the mic, please. The proposed hours of operation Friday from 7
to 12 a.m. or midnight, Saturdays from 6 to midnight, and Wednesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 11. This ordinance approves a special use permit for live entertainment venue with extended hours of operation. The planning commission reviewed and recommends approval. Just talk about comedy. How did you get into this business again?
I stumbled into comedy in 2002 when I was living in Austin, Texas, on a dare. Someone asked me to go up and do an open mic night, and I did, and I was surprised by the outcome of laughter immediately, and I was hooked ever since. Started doing it full time in 2006. Been around comedy in different clubs and seen what's successful and what's not successful, and decided that it was about time to open up my own club, which was a dream of mine, to have my own comedy club. And as I was looking at locations, I was really impressed with Bolingbrook and what I heard about the mayor and the village of Bolingbrook. And Tom at the Bolingbrook Mall at the Promenade was just amazing and tremendous and answering all my questions, and was really excited when I pitched the idea of actually bringing a comedy club to that location and trying to make it more of a entertainment district where people will come and have dinner, see shows, and go back out and frequent the restaurants there for drinks.
Where do you get your comedians?
The comedians I will be booking will be local and national touring comedians from all over the country. Chicago, being Chicago, there's such a great amount of talent here that I can get locally, but I also will be extending out to California, to Texas, to New York as well. The same comedians that you'll find in Schaumburg or in the city, but right here in our area where you don't have to worry about the parking and all the congestion of traffic.
What's it cost to go to a comedy club?
The tickets are going to range anywhere between $15, and then during special event shows, if I bring a bigger headliner in, the ticket prices can range all the way up to $35 per ticket. And then there's a 2-drink minimum, which it can be water, can be soda, but it's just 2 drinks during the show. And that's a minimum. If you want to drink more, go for it.
Just like Vegas.
Yes.
So you don't do stand-up anymore yourself?
I've actually stepped away from it for about the last year and a half, or 2 years actually, as I was planning this and trying to get this off the ground and planning and getting everything in line. I will probably jump on. I got some big name friends of mine throughout the country, so if they come in and they want me to feature for them, I'll probably jump on stage and do about another 30 minutes, but I'm primarily wanting to just book the acts, have everybody have a good time. The comedians that I'm going to bring are, you might not know their names, but when you leave the club, you will have an amazing time.
How many stand-up comedians would you say, not legitimate, but professional, are there in Chicagoland?
In the Chicagoland area, I would got to be hundreds. I mean, I would say literally 200 plus comedians that are, it'd be more, but when they make it, they leave. They all go to LA, and I mean, think of who we've had. We've had D. Ray Davis, Sebastian Maniscalco, Hannibal Buress. I mean, all these amazing comedians that I've had the pleasure of working with when I came here, when I moved here in 2006. I've just seen them grow and move out, like, Mulaney, he was just on the Oscars. Yep. Chicago boy. So, I mean, their talent here is amazing. I just want to groom it and grow it and use it.
Questions?
How many shows a week did you say you were going to have?
Right now, we're scheduling for 2 shows on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday, doing an open mic on a Thursday night, and then potentially trying to grab a show that's very popular in the city of Chicago, which is, and then bringing them in to do a Wednesday night showing in Bolingbrook to bring just more people in and let them know that, they don't have to go all the way out to the city on the weekday to see great comedy.
How soon do you plan to open?
I'm shooting for the mid of May. I'm going to submit all of my applications tomorrow, actually, and then waiting for the licenses to get approved. And as soon as those licenses are done, I'm going to start the construction.
Looking forward to it.
I'm very excited. I'm glad to be a part of Bolingbrook and the Promenade.
Well, the license should be on the next agenda. Yeah. And I don't know if there's anticipate any problem with it. As I said, the issue as we talked was the service of food. But you're next to, you're within 2-minute walking distance to several restaurants, so I could see people going to dinner and going to comedy club or vice versa.
But it's going to be fun. I think it's a very nice fit. If you look at malls or retail areas across the country, probably the closest that's a good example is Rosemont. They got the shopping area, but they also are going more toward entertainment, to fill in the gaps. The retail world continues to change, and it's not pretty. I think most people saw that Payless Shoes may be shutting down countrywide. People questioned our Fannie Mae store closing. Well, Fannie Mae shut down most of their stores down, and I'm told you'll see Fannie Mae for sale in Target, probably. So the retail world, as we want to know, is changing, and so you fill in the gaps with other things which bring shoppers and people looking for a great evening. And again, CJ stands for?
CG's.
CG's?
CG's Comedy Club. Combination of the names of myself and my partner. And it stands for Chicago's Greatest, Chicago's Gurus, Comedy Gurus. So
whatever you want it to stand for.
It really stands for, CG stands for Chicago's Greatest Comedy Club.
Any other questions?
So you won't have a full-blown restaurant, but will you have any food at all?
Right now, we're really trying not to have any food and just serve the bar. We'll be a service bar, so the patrons won't actually go into the bar. They'll just sit at their tables, and then the waitress will come take the order and bring the drinks directly to them. Shows last about an hour and 30 minutes to an hour and 45 minutes. But at this point, we're not looking to serve any food just for the constraints of the size of my establishment. Had it been bigger or at maybe down the line, because as I'm talked with Tom, the space adjacent to me is actually vacant. If I continue to hit my numbers and do what I do, I can expand, and then I would go ahead and do a food menu like small, like chips or personal pizzas or something like that, nachos.
I'm sure you'll be able to get an olive or two, Sheldon.
to hold me over.
With some blue cheese.
To hold
You
me
can have
over.
some cheese and olive.
But I just want to mention that there has been a buzz around this comedy club coming. As a matter of fact, there was a comedian that called me today to make sure that I was aware that this was coming before the board this evening. So people on the street know that this is hitting the board today. So people are looking forward to this experience and you coming to town. So.
I'm excited to give them a great show, a great experience that they can, continue to keep coming back and telling their friends, and then just growing it and bringing more people to the promenade so they can frequent the restaurants, come see shows, and then just keep bringing more people back.
Yeah, we've had a few good comedians come in and perform. Pat McGann, Mike Toomey from WGN, and Pat Tomasulo. They may have a circuit in Chicago as well, but I think your idea in bringing it to life is great.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Well, Glenn, welcome. Appreciate your investment. Is that your wife?
That's my wife right over there.
How does she feel about this?
She kind of wishes I would not be on building mode 24/7, but she's excited. We've been together 6 years, and she's used to being around me and my comic friends, and so she's really excited about it.
You tell all the jokes around the house?
Yeah, mostly me, but she cracks me up. She's very funny, so that's why not just beauty, but.
Oh, smooth.
I'm just trying not to have an argument when we get home.
Smooth and funny. That's a good combination.
What's her name?
Angelina.
Angelina, welcome. Anyway, good luck.
Thank you.
Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarati.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Jessup.
Yes. Okay, there you go.
Thank you, guys.
See you tomorrow. Next, ordinance amending Article 13, Chapter 17, the municipal code regarding golf cart operations. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion trustee Morales, second trustee Lawler. One of the benefits of living on a golf course is the potential to be able to use a golf cart to get to the golf course. The Illinois Motor Vehicle Code allows municipalities to authorize use of golf carts on non-highway streets. The ordinance authorizes use of golf carts provided the cart meets the statutory requirements on streets in Americana Estates, Patriot Place, and Liberty Green subdivisions. Statutory requirements include headlights, brake lights, rear view mirrors, steering and brake mechanisms, front and rear, and reflecting warnings.
That's what this ordinance talks about. Do I get a motion on the ordinance?
Yes.
Yes. No?
Yes. Yes, you have a
First
motion
and
and a
second.
second.
Questions on the ordinance? They'll have cart access to the Bolingbrook Golf Club in several locations. Liberty Green, by the way, had their grand opening on Saturday. Stunning. They have 153 lots. They sold 10 in the first 2 hours.
Wow.
Pulte was even impressed. They were kind of caught by surprise. One gentleman apparently got there 5 or 6 in the morning to wait for the grand opening, so he got first choice in a lot he wanted. He and the couple had decided where they wanted to be, and they wanted to get there early, so they were the first ones to get there and buy it. So it's going to be a very successful development. Rob Getz, I traded emails with him today. It's again, an age-targeted group, single-family homes, and with 153, there's only 143 left, and they've got a couple others pending. So this will allow them to, again, have access off the back of their property onto the course, to follow the golf cart path around to the clubhouse, or to play golf, or to hit some golf balls, have lunch, have dinner, whatever. That's been the plan for this development since early 2000s when it opened. The economy, of course, tanked in 2006 and 7 for 3 or 4 years, which kind of stopped development there, but Americana Estates is selling again. The Patriot Place is a huge success, and Liberty Green is going out with a success too, so it's really coming to fruition as we planned.
I think it's worth repeating that this is limited to Americana Estates, Patriot Place, and Liberty Green subdivisions. So, not to be misinterpreted that...
Yeah, if you live next door to Village Hall, you can't get a golf cart. It's not on the streets, it's within the subdivision
Or
streets.
by our houses.
Yeah. Questions? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Jesper.
Yes. The next ordinance is approving platted attachment in I-55 and Veterans Parkway. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion trustee
Second.
Watts, second trustee Zarate. This ordinance approves a platted attachment regarding 21.876 acres of property located south of I-55 off Veterans Parkway. On February 19, 2016, the village voluntary annexed 3.08 acres of ComEd. On March 8, 2016, it involuntary annexed 18.796 acres of property. One of the 3 affected landowners filed suit challenging the annexation. The trial court agreed, and the village and the appellate court reversed. This ordinance implements the court order and disconnects the contested property. The village is working with ComEd to re-annex the property to comply with the condition of the court ruling. Any comment, Jim?
Well, I think the board's been aware this is really centers around the Ed James junkyard case. And we are attempting to address the issues that were raised by the appellate court with Commonwealth Edison. And we hope to bring back to the board a reannexation petition soon.
Questions? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Zarate.
Yes.
Trustee Lawler.
Yes.
Trustee Watts.
Yes.
Trustee Hoagland.
Yes.
Trustee Morales.
Yes.
Trustee Jesper.
Yes. Question in the audience or press? Seeing none, trustee comments. Trustee Zarate.
Thank you, Mayor. Sunday, March 10th at 2 a.m., don't forget to change your clocks. Remember to change the batteries on smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Spring forward, don't forget to set your clock forward this Sunday. I also have another one.
I'm sorry, is it this Sunday or next Sunday?
It says,
What's the date?
it says March 10th. It says-
Not this coming?
A week from Sunday.
A week from Sunday.
Yeah. All you can eat fish fry at the Nest Bar and Grill. $14.95 every Friday, starts March 8th through April 19th. All you can eat beer, battered cod, fish, and chips at the Bolingbrook Golf Club at 201 Rodeo Drive in Bolingbrook. If you'd like to call, the number is 630-771-9400. Thank you.
I want to congratulate those who were honored by the VFW American Legion. Great examples of our employees and how they care about taking care of the residents and work hard. As was stated so well, they don't take their own, they care more about the residents than for their own safety, although they operate safely, but they're out there making sure that our residents are taken care of. So thank you to them. As a member of the Lions Club, we've got the 26th Annual St. Patrick's Dinner Dance coming up Friday, March 8th, 6 p.m. to midnight at the Joseph and Sarah Levy Center, as the mayor alluded to earlier tonight. Advanced ticket purchase is required, and this flyer is up on the website, $30 per person, cash bar. The entertainment is Chris Aliotto from the Bolingbrook Fire Department on Honor Guard is going to play some traditional bagpipe music. The Whiskey Brothers, Jim Riley, who grew up in Bolingbrook, has a great band. They perform around the area. And so great entertainment that night and great food, as always, by the Lions Club, and helps a great cause. And then lastly, one event I got to, but the other one I didn't, but I want to congratulate the Community Service Council on being able to expand their facilities, recent ribbon cutting. The result of that is that they're able to service more residents in need with more counselors and extended hours with the expanded facilities. They're over on Quadrangle Drive, and they provide a number of counseling services and financial counseling services, and but they've been doing this for over 30 years in town. The other was great. We've had a gap in food bank for those in need. Compass Church on Briarcliff Road, which is, if you're going east on Briarcliff, it's behind White Castle in the shopping center there. Used to be the old Northview School. They partnered with Loaves and Fishes organization, who have been serving the area for a long time. Last year, they served over 18,000 individuals, not just once, but several clients came back several times to provide food for needy families. They also provide medical treatment. Just a great facility, and we appreciate Compass Church for stepping up and supporting the community. That's it. Thank you.
I too would like to congratulate and thank our Police, Fire, and Public Services Award recipients. They've clearly gone above and beyond, and we truly appreciate it. Mr. Lon Shank, want to welcome him back to the Plan Commission and thank him in advance for his service. I have 3 announcements tonight. We have Mayor Roger Clare in the Village of Bolingbrook presenting a $1 Million Woman panel discussion, a high caliber and top-notch panel that includes Teresa Kostick, Anita Canto-Carty, Rose Canfield, and Alicia Benford. That's Tuesday, March 12th from 5:30 to 8:30. It's taking place at 300 West Briarcliff Road, Meeting Room A. So that's the Bolingbrook Chamber of Commerce, Women in Business, and it's hosted by the Fountaindale Public Library. And it's also coordinated by the Bolingbrook Bunch. So there are multiple people involved in planning this awesome event. Save the date, Saturday, March 2nd, Reach for the Stars, 6th annual fundraising event. This is always a great event put on by the Midwest Christian Montessori Academy. I hope to be there. Always enjoy it. It's at the Bolingbrook Community Center, 201 Canterbury Lane here in Bolingbrook. For more information, you can call 630-783-8644 or go to mcmacademy.org. And finally, we have St. Patty's Half Marathon and 5K taking place on March 17, 2019 at 375 West Briarcliff Road. You can register online by searching allcommunityevents.com, allcommunityevents.com. And that is, again, March 17th, 2019. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. I have the 24th Annual Great Chef Tasting Party and Auction. It's a special event to benefit Center for Disability Services. Save the date, Sunday, March 3rd, 2019. It will be held at the Bolingbrook Golf Club at 2001 Rodeo Drive between 4:30 p.m. and 7:30. For more information, please contact Gina Wysocki at 815-744-3500 or visit www.cdsil.org. Donations for live and silent auctions are graciously accepted and properly acknowledged in the program. I also have spring cleanup, March 25th through March 29th. Cleanup week is scheduled for the last full week of March on your normal trash pickup day. Unlimited bulk items and unlimited amount of refuse will be picked up. This does not include electronics, construction, material, or demolition debris, normally requiring a special roll-off container. For electronics, please call Groot at 888-485-0900 to schedule a pickup. Thank you very much. That's all I have.
Hello, everyone. Just a couple of quick announcements. Next Tuesday, March 5th, right here at the Bolingbrook Police Department, it's Coffee with the Chiefs from 8 to 9. Director Temple, would that be here in this room, or?
We'll start out in the lobby of the police department.
Lobby of the police department, starting at 8 o'clock. Again, it's at 375 West Briarcliff, the police department, right here at Village Hall, March 5th, from 8 to 9. Great opportunity to meet with the chiefs and ask all kinds of questions of things that are going on in the community or concerns you might have. What are some of the things you covered, Director Temple?
Runs the gamut from code enforcement issues to parking issues to ordinance to current events. Pretty much wherever the residents want to take the conversation, it'll go there. All the staff is on hand from the police and the fire departments to answer questions from ambulance billing to transportation to the hospital questions. It goes all over the place, depending on the resident.
So your hands are full for an hour.
Plus.
One other announcement, the Bolingbrook Rotary Annual Mac and Cheese is 4th annual. It will be Saturday, March 9th, noon to 2 at New Life Lutheran Church, 249 North Bolingbrook Drive. It's $12 for tickets. Again, that's March 9th, noon to 2 at New Life Lutheran Church. And congratulations to all the award winners tonight. That's all I have. Thank you.
Let me start out by thanking the VFW for what they did tonight. I've done this for several years now in a row, and it's appreciated. And congratulations to the police, fire, and public service employees who won those awards tonight. I also want to push the Bolingbrook Mac and Cheese. It is a week from this Saturday. It's at New Life Lutheran Church. This is our 4th year. The first and third year, a police officer won the event, Jenna Swenson. And so if you've never tasted if you just have the regular basic mac and cheese, you're going to be surprised in the things that you're going to see at these cook-off. We have everything from very hot jalapeno, spicy, seafood, all kinds of mac and cheese. And it's supplemented with food from Family Square, Culver's, Bar Louie, and other things. So it's just not mac and cheese that's all you're coming for. Tickets are $12. We'd love to have you out there. Come on out. We appreciate it.
Just to give you a couple updates, tonight the basketball playoffs for state championship started, and Bolingbrook was successful tonight over a very accomplished Joliet team by about 15 points. It should be an interesting game later in the week because Plainfield East is expected to be in the other bracket. So 2 teams with Bolingbrook residents will be competing, kind of like back in the day when we played Downers South in football. In Romeoville and certain sports, we still play basketball, but there could be a Plainfield East Bolingbrook High School showdown, both accomplished teams, so that should be interesting. I'm not sure where they play Friday or Thursday or Friday night, but the papers will tell you. But equally as important, I, of course, have been following the election in Chicago. Interesting evening. 28% of the people voted, one of the lowest turnouts ever. Kind of stunning, given the amount of coverage the mayor's election's gotten over the last couple of months. I was expecting 50, 60, 65% of the voter turnout. Right now it's 28. Less than 500,000 people voted out of 1.6 million. And at this point in time, we're looking at Lightfoot with 17.4%, Preckwinkle with 15.9%, and Daley with 14.8%, and there's only 15% of the vote left. So at this point in time, it looks like it's going to be Lightfoot and Preckwinkle in the runoff. A couple other notes. Joe Moore, a long time serving alderman in Chicago. I've known Joe for 20, 25 years. Lost tonight to a challenger. I don't know the name of the challenger. And it looks like Ed Burke has won with 55% of the vote. So you don't know what's going to happen in Chicago elections, but it should be an interesting runoff. And the interesting thing about this whole period is, as we've changed voter rules, if it's a clear winner with Lightfoot and Preckwinkle, it may well be, and if there's no challenges, you still have to wait, was it 2 weeks for the mail-in ballots?
2 weeks.
So roll 14 days on top of today, which takes you into the, March 8th, 10th, whatever it is. And then, of course, if there's a challenge or a recount or anything of that nature, you also delay. And March 16th, just a few days later, they have to have early voting ready for the April 2nd runoff. So it's really put the whole issue of voting in a trick bag, and things have to happen very quickly in order to meet the April 2nd consolidated election date. And people ask me, how come Bolingbrook? This is a primary. We've never had a primary. In fact, we've worked hard not to avoid a primary, but things change, as you all know, if you're following this year's election, in terms of interest and so on. Our election, all cities and villages in Illinois have elections on April 2nd. It's called a consolidated election. In our case, it's school, park, library, and village. Anyway, I'd only suggest that as this election period cranks up, 5 weeks to go, just do your research, pay attention to what people say, verify it through sources, if it's a park issue, library issue, school district issue, or village issue. Those are the 4 on the ballot. And it's going to be interesting, and as Mayor Daley at once called it, it's the silly season. And this one appears to be getting silly. So with that, no other business, there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion trustee Watt, second trustee Morales. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We stand adjourned.